Hello, good day to all my Form 4 students. Today we are here to continue on acid base, the chapter acid, base and salts. We are doing part 8 today, and the subtopic that I am going to discuss today is on acid base titration, endpoint, and how to calculate molarity, which is concentration, and volume of a certain acid needed when you use a method called titration. Okay, now let me introduce you to the method called titration. Now, what do we mean by acid-base titration? Now, please remember that titration indicates a method. Neutralization is a process. Whatever happens when you mix, for instance, look at this diagram where acid will be added into alkali. All of you are aware that when acid is added with alkali, that is called neutralization. So the process that happens in the conical flask, the moment acid meets alkali, is called neutralization. Now, the setup of apparatus. Can you see teacher draw a setup of apparatus here? Now, this method is called titration. Okay, so again, neutralization is a process where acid meets with alkali to neutralize and form water and salt. The method that we are using to go through neutralization is titration. Thus, titration is actually the key point. Teacher write the key point, is a technique. Okay, it's a technique used to help to determine volume, okay, volume and molarity of acid, okay, acid required to neutralize an alkali. Meaning here the alkali, if you look at back at the diagram, alkali we already know the molarity, the concentration and also the volume being used. Now the titration method will help us to determine the molarity. The titration method will help us to determine the volume of the acid needed. Okay. Now, so that is the meaning of titration. Neutralization is a technique. Neutralization is a process. Titration is a technique. Okay. So now, so these are the key points that you need to know in order to understand titration. Now, let's go to what is meant by endpoint. Endpoint is where, teacher write the key point, endpoint is where acid completely neutralized by alkali with the help of indicators. Okay, so now, so what do you mean by indicators? Indicators are substances which are used where the color change of the substances will help us to determine whether an acid or alkali has been neutralized or not. Okay, now, please bear in mind, in this titration method, the usual indicators used is methyl orange, and second important ones, phenolphthalein. Okay, why these two are widely used for titration method? Because their color indication during the endpoint process is very, very significant. Okay, now that is the reason why methyl orange and phenolphthalein is used. Okay, especially to determine endpoint for titration method. Okay, now during titration method, you can know few important information, which is where the indicator change colors, change color. Okay, methyl orange will change. That means if it's in alkali, methyl orange will change from orange to green. Okay, orange to green. And phenolphthalein will change from pink to colorless. Okay, methyl orange will change from orange to green, and phenolphthalein will change from pink to colorless. So that is how you determine. Okay, so that is how you determine whether the indication, the indicator has changed color, and the moment they change color, you will know whether they have reached endpoint or not. Okay, now, so let's go to second. What happens when you go through titration method? Okay, now, so the commonly used titration indicators are methyl orange and phenolphthalein. Okay, phenolphthalein. Okay, and what happens is through titration or through endpoint, thanks to the endpoint, you can determine volume and molarity of acid that can neutralize a certain alkali with, paling penting important, most important, with known, okay, with known molarity and volume. Okay, so now allow me to repeat. So what teacher meant by this? That means thanks to endpoint, using titration technique, you can determine the volume and molarity of acid that can neutralize, or acid needed to neutralize a certain alkali with a known molarity and volume. Okay, so again teacher would like to highlight here, when you know the molarity and the volume of a certain acid or alkali or any solution, that is what we call by standard solution. Okay, so that is what we call by standard solution. Now let's concentrate on how do we determine an endpoint and also determine the molarity and the volume of a certain acid needed in order to neutralize a certain alkali. Okay, now so in this reaction, before that let me explain the setup of apparatus for titration method. For titration method, usually acid is in the burette. Acid waits in the burette. Alkali is the one that waits in the conical flask. That's the most important thing that you need to know. Or you can take it this way, where if you know the molarity and the volume of a certain substance, that substance will go into conical flask. For instance, I'm not telling this is the ultimate one. It can even change. You can even make hydrochloric acid wait in the conical flask. Hydrochloric acid you are going to put in the conical flask, make sure you know the molarity, concentration, and also the volume used. Okay, so please remember, so any substance, alkali or acid that is going to wait in the conical flask, it must be a standard solution with a known concentration and known volume. Okay, so now, so alkali here in teacher's example, I am giving you acid waiting in the burette because we don't know the molarity, concentration of the acid, we don't know the volume of the acid. So now that is the reason why acid teacher put it into the burette. Now alkali with a known concentration and known volume, technically standard solution, will be waiting in the conical flask to be neutralized, and you can determine the endpoint. Okay, now phenolphthalein. What is the function of phenolphthalein? Here teacher indicated you can use methyl orange or phenolphthalein. So what happens is, methyl orange and phenolphthalein you can determine teacher put phenolphthalein. So what happens is when alkali meets phenolphthalein, it will be pink color. That means technically you will find pink solution. Okay, so you find pink solution. When you're adding phenolphthalein, make sure you add few drops of phenolphthalein, not 5 cm, 10 cm cube of phenolphthalein. Okay, because they're just basically indicators. Okay, so you put too much of phenolphthalein, they will become impurities. Okay, when you're producing the alright. Okay, now so let's go to calculation. Now what happens is during the titration method, you can repeat this titration method for 3 times. Okay, to find the average volume of hydrochloric acid needed to change the color of phenolphthalein from pink to colorless. That means the moment endpoint is reached, the moment endpoint is reached, you will find that the pink phenolphthalein changes colorless. So that is the reason why you must be very, very careful when you're reading the burette. When you come to almost to volume of 24 cm cube or something like that, you must be very, very careful. Alright, so I hope your teachers in school teach you the technique on how to handle titration, titration process. Okay, now so let's go to find the average volume of hydrochloric acid. Now what happened is, I assume that you have repeated this experiment for 3 times. Just say experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3. Okay, just say experiment 1 you get 25 cm cube. Experiment 2 24.50 cm cube. Experiment 5 25.50 cm cube. Okay, 25.50 cm cube. Now you have to find the average volume. If I'm not mistaken, the average volume will be 25 cm cube. Okay, so this is just an example, 25 cm cube. So can you see? Find the average volume of hydrochloric acid through the method of titration, and you repeat this experiment for 3 times to get a better, okay, average volume. You get the, just say you get the volume of 25 cm cube of hydrochloric acid. Now what you have to do is you have to relate. This is where the mole calculation comes in handy. Okay, now so from the equation, if you look at here, this is actually the equation for the neutralization, where 1 mole of hydrochloric acid and 1 mole of sodium hydroxide is needed to produce 1 mole of water and 1 mole of sodium chloride. So transfer this information to here. That means from the equation, okay, from the equation, 1 mole sodium hydroxide is needed to produce 1 mole hydrochloric acid. Now what you have to do is find actual mole of sodium hydroxide. Okay, so actual mole of sodium hydroxide, you have to determine how much, which is 0.1 times 25 divided with 1000. So you will get 0.002 5, if I'm not mistaken. 0.025, sorry, 0.025 mole. Okay, now so from the equation you find that the molarity, sorry, you find the mole of hydrochloric acid needed 1 and sodium hydroxide needed is 1. So from here you can relate. Okay, when 1 mole of sodium hydroxide is needed for 1 mole of hydrochloric acid, obviously 0.0025 sodium hydroxide is needed by 0.0025 mole hydrochloric acid. So this is what teacher called by you relate. So but before that you have to find how much mole. Okay, so mole you get 0.0025. Okay, 0.0025 mole. So that's why you have to get the mole of sodium hydroxide before that. You make sure you calculate and keep that handy. Alright, okay, now after that, so that's why when doing this, your relating process will be easier. Alright, okay, now so let's find, now looking at this, let's find the molarity of hydrochloric acid. Let's find the molarity of hydrochloric acid, which is molarity of hydrochloric acid will be 0. Using the method mv over 1000 equivalent to 0.0025 mole. Okay, so now where do you get the molarity? Molarity you don't know already. Why? Because you are going to, your work is actually supposed to determine the molarity, so you don't know. But thank God you have already find the volume of the acid needed. So what you can do is m times the volume of acid needed, 25 cm cube, 25 divided with 1000, and you have already managed to find the mole of hydrochloric acid needed. So you get 0.0025 mole. Okay, so 0.0025 mole. So you will find that M is equivalent to 0.1 mole dm cube. So this is the amount of molarity. This is the amount of molarity. This is the amount of acid that is needed or being used in order to reach the endpoint and neutralize sodium hydroxide. Okay, so students, I hope that you can understand what teacher have explained here. So please remember, titration, acid-base titration is a technique to determine the volume and molarity. Important is volume and molarity. True enough, you manage to determine volume and you determine the molarity. True enough, you manage to determine the volume of molarity of acid or alkali needed. Depends. Okay. So the indicators mainly used is methyl orange and phenolphthalein. Okay, so you find the endpoint where acid is completely neutralized by alkali. Okay, so this is actually our part 8. Teacher will continue with our part 9. Part 9 which is on salts. Okay, with part 9 which is on salts in our next video. Thank you for watching. See you all.